general baseball question. What percentage of pitchers would you say are getting away with putting XYZ on the ball, keep it in their glove? If you had to give a percentage of people
right now, so I know that the rule came out that I want to say it was this year or last few years, that I know they check, the umpires check after each inning.
After each inning?
After, I want to say each inning. You sometimes shown on TV where the pitchers will come off.
Yeah, they'll call a timeout and challenge you.
Or they'll, in between the innings, umpire will meet the pitcher halfway into the dugout before they get into the dugout and check their gloves and stuff. But it's known now that pitchers batters use it for their bat.
Yeah.
Pitchers, not all, but most of us used it just to give us a little bit of feel. We're in southern states, pitching in hot stadiums.
So you want to keep your grip.
It had nothing to do with so much. Probably 99% of us, if we used it, and I'll give you my little secret ingredient here in a second, most of us that used something didn't do it to do anything to manipulate the ball. It was more so we could have grip when we're
But if you are trying to manipulate the ball, kids, what's the easiest thing that pitchers get away with?
Just getting better. I mean, if you want to manipulate the ball, just getting better, obviously. But what I used was, and everybody, when I went to spring training coming up, I was originally drafted by the Atlanta Braves. So Atlanta had pitching on pitching on pitching. That's all they really.
So they're just a pitching town.
Tom Glavine.
Maddox. Yeah.
Smoltz. Those guys they reigned in the NL East for years. So it was a privilege and an honor to get drafted by them, but coming up and learning a lot about how they treat their players, but also being groomed to their expectations. So came into their organization. But in spring training, I seen all this shaving cream in the bullpen. And this is 10 years ago. Spring trade, Barbasol cans in the bullpen. And I'm like, what's all the shaving cream stuff for? And, I forget who it was. It might have been Eddie Perez, who was the Atlanta Braves bullpen catcher at the time. Oh, yeah, spray some on your hand and then get the rosin bag. So, okay. So I grabbed some shaving cream, sprayed a little shaving cream on my hand, rubbed it in, and then took the rosin bag and dapped it.
Was that an invisible agent?
It's after about 10 seconds, man, it becomes really sticky. So again, sticky, if you could put yourself in Florida heat, 2 in the afternoon or later in the evening, any little bit of stickiness, tackiness is what we were looking for. Something just to grip the ball, because it can become slick, especially with dust and the moisture coming from our bodies. So Barbasol, little rosin bag helped. Bullfrog.
Listening, kids.
Sunscreen. Bullfrog was a nice sunscreen that gave a tack with rosin as well. All these things aren't illegal substances, but mixed together in the major league level while they're checking.
Well, it's brilliant because it's invisible.
They can be, I guess, until you use it too much or it's too noticeable, right? It's too noticeable. But again, I mean, these were things that pitchers did all the time. Now, there might have been other players that did a little scuffing the ball back in the day, the 70s, 80s, before me.
That was a different era back then.
That was a different era.
I was going to say, we're not comparing the same thing at that point.
No, definitely not. So two different things, too. There was probably cheating where they were scuffing or doctoring the ball in a way that was definitely unlawful, right? But then most of us, before there was even a ban on substances, just wanted an advantage, like a hitter would with pine tar.
So you struck out Mike Trout.
Yeah.
You struck his ass out.
Yeah.
And that nobody can ever take that away from you.
Yeah.
Now, when I watch these interviews with Greg Maddux against Barry Bonds, it's like a chess match that these two go against each other when they go to bat. And a hitter like Mike Trout, who's so good, I'm sure you do your research on him to know where to pitch, to do this. And there's way more to it than anybody thinks. What was that chess match like for you when you struck out Mike Trout?
Yeah, pitching is all about a cat and mouse game. Like you mentioned, it's a chess match between the hitter and the pitcher. Like I mentioned earlier, the defense, we have the ball. And as a pitcher, in my particular position at the major league level, I was in control of the defense. I kept the tempo, the rhythm. If I was pitching good, hitting my spots, the guys behind me in the field are obviously watching the game. They're on my team participating, so they're in it every pitch. They get to see my craft on that night I performed. And so they had to be in tune. So being the percussionist or the leader of the band, so to speak, the team,
Sure.
was really where I had to put myself each and every day I towed the mound, leading them, throwing strikes, and competing. But you mentioned Mike Trout. Mike Trout, like all hitters, have a strength and a weakness. The best of the best, their strengths are a lot more bolder than maybe somebody else in the lineup, lower in the lineup, right? But we all probably played PlayStation or Xbox or video games before. And if we hit X on a controller or Y or square, our character or our player does exactly what it's supposed to, right?
So you think of it like that.
I do. But at the same time, a hitter thinks, because they're not a video game, they're not a computer chip either. They're a human trying to do what they're trying to see what I'm doing as well. So if I'm throwing all fastballs down and away, even though it's their weakness, maybe, right? They're able to combat it because they're a human being. They can think, okay, this guy's doing this. Now I got to make an adjustment. So pitching the cat and mouse game against a Mike Trout's, making those adjustments in real time, were crucial. And that's probably what every athlete probably has to go through, is that learning experience. But once you're at the major league level, even college level, hitters, pitchers, players really have to use their brains even more. The good players could take a play off mentally or so, but guys like me and other players, 95% of the league, has to stay locked in every play.
Well, how hard was it not to smile when you struck him out?
And smiling, he is semi-local, right?
Yeah.
He's a Jersey guy. I know he's an Eagles fan.
I'd be smiling.
Oh my goodness, you're so
I'd be
locked in.
yeah.
No, I mean, it's a different realm once you're locked in. The lights are on, man. I mean,
Oh, so
you're
fired
smile
up.
after.
But are you feeling that intensity the whole game because you're
Yeah,
in
but
it?
yes, of course. Like I could look back and say I struck out Mike Trout, and other players that will be in the Hall of Fame, like David Ortiz. I got to play with Ryan Howard with the Phillies, but to pick his brain too. But as a pitcher, they're just another out in the lineup. They're just another player.
I see. So you
as a
celebrate later.
especially as a starter, because I'm expected to go 5, 6, 7 innings in a game.
You can't take a break and
Yeah, exactly. That's one out in the game. It's just another out.
Yeah.
One of 27 that the team needs to become victorious that night. So for me, no, it was on to the next. So a lot of times as a player, when you do something in a game, you're not self-reflecting in the moment. You don't have time. It's just the focus and awareness you have towards the game and what needs to be done at the moment it overweighs any self-celebration that happens.
I see.
Even when players might hit a home run or hit a walk-off home run, they celebrate in the moment, but you could probably imagine the feeling of just like, I don't know where I was, I don't know what just happened, right? So until after the fact, you'd be like, that just happened, or we just did that.
Have you seen the Moneyball, the movie Moneyball?
Absolutely.
Okay. So when you were very young and you decided, or you found out you're good enough to be, did somebody come to your house like scouts and sit down with your family because you're 17 at the time?
Yeah, it started around 16, 17. I went to William Penn High School. We had a great high school team. My junior and senior year, a lot of players that played either D1 or went on to play college baseball. What we needed to do was just go out there, play every day, and just stay locked in. That's the only thing that I really did throughout my career. It wasn't so much the physical ability. A lot of players right now, they're gifted physically, right? But it's having the ability to stay locked in day to day, and give it your best day in and day out.
So your parents are doing the negotiating for you at that time and helping you make a decision, or who's making?